DeMarco Murray, ladies and gentlemen, has a broken bone in his left hand, and he could be sidelined for Monday night's game at home against Sunday's game against the Colts. Jason Garrett says he's just going to wait and see. Take a listen.
The biggest question we have to ask ourselves is he functional to do his job? Can he hold the football? Can he carry it under duress? Can he block? Can he do the things necessary to play the position? He's as strong-willed and determined an individual as I've ever been around. And if anybody has a chance to come back, he does.
All right, well, Ed Wardy is reporting that the Cowboys are confident Murray will still play against Indy on Sunday as they consider this an injury that Murray can tolerate.
Yeah, we'll see.
Jeez, we haven't even got to the question. We already know how you feel now. Then, how big of a blow is this, do you believe, for the Dallas Cowboys?
Stephen A. Smith, you have tried to warn me about this all year long. I give it up to you today. You gave it up to me yesterday. And just when I thought it was safe to trust that this year just might be meant to be for my Dallas Cowboys, mid-afternoon I hear surgery to insert a pin in a broken forefinger on the left hand? Are you serious? And then I'm already starting to doubt myself a little bit because Doug Free, my right tackle, who I think was playing about as well as any of the offensive linemen across the board, he left the game the other night, could not return, not sure about his status going into Sunday. And Zach Martin turned his ankle during the game, toughed it out, sucked it up, but was limping after the game, not sure about his status going into Sunday. Stephen A., this is a big deal. Now, I realize it could have been a whole lot worse because DeMarco could have hurt his knee or hurt his Achilles tendon or some lower leg injury that could have ended his season. And I realize, as Kerry just pointed out, indications are he's going to try to go. And as you just heard Jason Garrett said, this is as strong-willed and determined a young man as Jason has ever been around. And I think we get that same vibe from him on here as you try to grill him and he won't crack, right? How many times has he stonewalled you?
He's from the school of Mike Tannenbaum. He should be working for the CIA. DeMarco Murray is a great football player. He has no future in television. Okay.
I don't think he wants one.
Exactly.
Look, here's the point. There's nothing good about the fact that your power back, the driving force of your breakthrough, breakout 10-4 season, in mid-December has to go in for surgery to have a pin inserted in his left forefinger of his left hand. Now, I realize that he carries the ball mostly in his right arm, but do you think he won't be limited? Because I'm pretty sure he's going to be limited. You can't stiff arm with your left hand anymore. I'm not sure he can catch the football, and that's been a lethal part of this offense, too. Occasionally he breaks out for a little swing pass. Do you think he can pass block? Because he's been very good on the blitz pickup, which is crucial to Tony Romo. And you don't think the defenders are going to be hacking at that left hand now? Not to particularly re-injure, but just to make it ache, make it sting, make it hurt. So do I think he'll be 100%? I do not. And I told you yesterday that I thought my best shot of finally winning a home game after my Cowboys have lost 3 in a row at home was to pound DeMarco against a Colts defense that's ranked 16th against the run. But we remember what happened to the Colts at home on that fateful Sunday night when Jonas Gray ran for 201 and 4 touchdowns against it. And I thought DeMarco had a chance, had a shot to do that. And now I'm not so sure about that, Stephen A. So the injury gods are starting to speak out against my Dallas Cowboys. And we all know the injury gods often decide the National Football League, or for that matter, the NBA season.
Yes.
So in the end, you got me on this. DeMarco has carried or caught the ball 405 times through 14 games. Last year at this point, it was 270, 405 to 270. So you kept telling me so. You said, you better be careful. You better be careful. So it's not the end of the world, but it might be the start of the end of the world. Thank you very much.
To imitate Skip Bayless for a quick second here.
You will. Okay.
Are you saying that you have questions about the Dallas Cowboys now as it pertains to how far they may go? Are you still sticking with your pick that they'll take the NFC East?
I will have the courage of my convictions and stick with it. But I must say, at this moment, I'm going to say small advantage to your Philadelphia Eagles.
Let me explain something to you right now. The Dallas Cowboys, as far as I'm concerned, without DeMarco Murray, even if they luck up and win the NFC East, they will be home quite early in January.
Okay.
You can book it.
I will accept that.
Without DeMarco Murray, you got no chance whatsoever. I know Joseph Randle, I know Dunbar can play, but can they carry a load and sustain it throughout the course of a 60-minute game, particularly a game of incredible importance? The answer would be no. I don't believe so. Not to mention the fact that it's pretty difficult for somebody to just step in and to succeed a DeMarco Murray, who is a flat-out stud, and earlier spent the first half of the season being a top 3 NFL MVP candidate. We understand that this brother can play. We understand that he's a rough rider. But at the same time, Skip, I will remind you that even when healthy, DeMarco Murray fumbled the ball about 5 times. He still had a tendency. He still had a tendency to fumble the football. Yeah, that was early, but it was something that he was plagued with in the past as well. Not just injuries, but an inability to hold onto the ball. You could tag him and get him to fumble the ball in the past, although he improved on that. So now you got a hurt pinky. I'm sorry, not a broken pinky, not a broken pinky, but a broken finger. All right, ring finger. The fact is that it's a very, very tough situation. And if you're the Dallas Cowboys, there are adjustments that need to be made. Now, obviously, you could use DeMarco Murray as a decoy. You could try that game. Obviously, it'll factor in to this strategy to some degree. But in the end, like I tried to tell you, I've never once said that the Dallas Cowboys can't play. I never once said that they weren't ultra talented. I never once said that their offense wasn't a juggernaut. I never once said that this is not a team that you have to be worried about because of their skill or whatever the case may be. Even in the case of Jason Garrett, I never said he couldn't coach in terms of X's and O's. I wondered about his ability to galvanize troops to maximize their potential, but I never questioned the X and O's knowledge because obviously he was paid as the head coach in waiting because he was a stout offensive coordinator. His mind, when it comes to offense, is up there with the best of them. I never said that Jerry Jones, hype machine extraordinaire, the billion-dollar playpen, and all that comes with America's team, wasn't an elite owner on that level. What I said, repeatedly, Skip Bayless, was that they are an accident waiting to happen. When something comes up, when the pivotal moment arrives, whenever that may be, something will happen. I don't know what it is. It could be a Tony Romo interception. It could be a DeMarco Murray fumble. It could be injuries to Doug Free or DeMarco Murray. It could be a fight on the sidelines. It could be Jerry Jones sitting there and buying ads and all of that other stuff prior to the players. Whatever needs to happen will happen because they are the Dallas Cowboys. It's who they are. And sure enough, as we sit here today, this morning, it is I don't want to say beautiful because I certainly don't want DeMarco Murray to be hurt and can't play. I want that brother to get his money. And by the way, Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones specifically, this is not an excuse to use to shortchange that man with his money. Don't you dare. Don't you even think about it. DeMarco Murray deserves his money. He deserves to get paid. I know you've been trying to run him into the ground because you're so desperate to be relevant again because you missed the playoffs the last 4 years with 3 consecutive 8 seasons, okay? I know you don't want to do it, but DeMarco Murray deserves his money. This is not a knee injury. This is not a torn patella. This is not a torn ACL or Achilles or anything like that. It's a finger. Has nothing to do with trying to use that as an excuse to shortchange DeMarco Murray for his money. You need to pay that man. And Des Bryant, you need to pay that man, Des Bryant. But it doesn't mean that you're not going to suffer yet again. My condolences in advance to you.
So you're writing them off.
In advance already?
No. What I'm saying is, listen, DeMarco Murray might, by the way, is very, very stupid for the Dallas Cowboys to talk about he should be ready to play. According to the reports, our very own Ed Werder, his sources are telling him that the Dallas Cowboys believe that DeMarco Murray will be able to play. It just shows the desperation. Here you are, in first place atop the NFC East, just beat up on the Philadelphia Eagles, had a great season, great victories, but you're so desperate. Let me run the guy into the ground. Not only does he carry the ball over 400 times, but now with a broken finger, you still want to throw him out there. It's just pathetic how desperate the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, with all that talent, is supposed to be. You got the ride. You got Tony Romo playing with 2 broken bones in his back. Now you got DeMarco Murray going to throw out there with a finger. Des Bryant's going to probably break something and end up on crutches, and Jerry Jones going to look at him and go like this, can you go out there? Can you go out there? That's how desperate the Dallas Cowboys are.
But, Skip, this is a time when a lot of people are injured. A lot of people are injured, playing, still playing.
Okay.
You have some hope.
A couple of responses to that.
Yeah.
Number one, the Cowboys might just be indicating he's going to play because they want the Colts to prepare as if DeMarco is going to play.
So they're engaging in trickery.
They might be engaging in a little bit of trickery. Just a little bit, because they want him to either think he's really going to be okay or that he is going to play when, in fact, he'll just try to play a little bit.
Right.
Okay. My question back to you, you keep using accident waiting to happen. And I told you before that game, the ultimate accident waiting to happen is Mark Sanchez. But I define accident as waiting to happen on the football field in performance.
That was you.
Are you defining this as injury also?
I have always defined an accident waiting to happen with the Dallas Cowboys. I've left no stone unturned. I'm trying to tell you right now, somebody could come on the field, and you know what? They're depressed because they broke up with a girlfriend or something. I mean, it could be anything with the Cowboys. It could be anything. Whatever it takes, something always gets in their way. It just doesn't fail for the last decade and a half. It just hasn't failed.
Okay.
Think about the stories we've attached to the Cowboys over the years. Nothing, it doesn't fail.
And think about the weirdest off-the-field story that hit my Dallas Cowboys this year. It concerned the backup running back.
That's right.
And now, Joseph Randle, I'm calling you out to make Cowboy fans talk about you as a performer, as a running back, instead of that guy who got arrested for shoplifting.
No.
Yes.
No.
He wants the details. He wants the details.
Are important.
The
because we
details
don't
are
want to
important.
act like the man robbed the store or something like that. No,
he didn't rob the store.
He stole a cologne that said which name was guilty and some underwear. I mean, come on, you can't leave that out.
It was the sample bottle, though.
Yeah.
Just a sample bottle, right?
I understand, but the name of the cologne was guilty, and it was some underwear.
He needed
I wonder why. It's unbelievable, man.
I can't explain it.
You can't make this stuff up.
I can't make that one up.
Don't act like the guy rolled up into a deli or something, tried to steal some money, tried to harm somebody. It wasn't violent. It was very peaceful and all of that stuff. But it was cologne and some underwear.
So you want Mr. Randall to be better, is what you're saying. We need him.
It's time to make people forget about the shoplifting and remember him for carrying the football. And I must tell you, every time he has touched the football this year, very few times, I always perk up because good things happen.
Good things happen.
Good things happen because they were accustomed to dealing with DeMarco Murray, number one, and then he catches them by surprise, okay? But let me also add this caveat of information. Actually, him coming on the field is going to make people remember it. Ain't going to forget. Ain't going to remember it. We forgot about it until now because he's going to be relevant now with DeMarco Murray.
Back in the news.
So he's back in the news.
Yeah, okay. But I'm going to remind you, the biggest win of the year last year at Philadelphia, Cowboys 17, Chip Kelly 3.
Yeah.
DeMarco Murray did not play in that football game. Joseph Randle started and finished that football game and ran for 65 yards. Again, it wasn't 120, but maybe he could run for 65 or 70 yards.
Wasn't 179.
No.
Wasn't 121. Wasn't 141. Wasn't 128. Wasn't 149. Wasn't 136. Wasn't 167. All games that DeMarco Murray has rushed for this year. Don't give me 65 yards and act like that's going to be impressive.
I'm not. So the onus then would fall back on one, Tony Romo. Much pressure has been taken off the shoulder pads of Mr. Romo, where he felt like he didn't have to win the world, where he didn't have to do the impossible this year.
What did I say to you at the beginning?
So here we go. It's up to Romo to outduel Andrew Luck, and it's tough because the Cowboy defense is, I'll give it average. It's not really even average. So it could be a shootout, and Romo might be susceptible
to a pick or two.
Jay Cutler.
A pick or two.
Kerry Champion, keep in mind that one of the things I've said repeatedly throughout this year is that the moment will arrive, and that's the moment I've been waiting for, when you don't have DeMarco Murray to lean on, for whatever reason. And it's going to be up to Tony Romo to come and save the day. That is the day that I am waiting for. And it appears to be coming.
Sooner than later. Sooner than later.
I'm sticking with my pick.
This is beautiful.
Somehow, some way.
This is beautiful.
So DeMarco Murray averages 25 rushes per game.
Time
Cowboys are 9-2
in the city
when Murray runs 20 or
Ring-a-ling.
more times.
You know what? He just might
They're
be
9
a miracle healer.
and 2.
You never know.
Hear
Never
them
know.
ring.